everyone, it is the Bookatarian here for another video. It is that time of the month again, and I am talking about the time of the month where I play the evil god Loki destroys my life with the pick of the draw. So, if you are unfamiliar with the rules of this little TBR game that I play, I'm just going to put this down before I drop it again. I draw 6 draws every month of prompts, genres, author names, book titles, coordinates for books on my shelves. I draw 6 times every month and have to pick a book that fits whatever it is that I drew accordingly, and that will be my must-read TBR for the next month. If you haven't watched my first 2 rounds of doing this, I will link the playlist down below in the description, so you can go and click on that if you wanted to watch the first 2 and see how those went. I'm pleased to say that I have very successfully not quite finished all of my books that I needed to finish for this month, but I have a solid week left of the month. So I will definitely be able to finish the last book that I have not read on my must-read TBR, which is The Shadow of Kyoshi by FCE and Michael Dante. But I'm listening to that via audiobook format, and it's less than 7 hours long, so I should have absolutely no problem finishing that before the end of the week. But either way, mixing it, first draw will be, what's this? Is it 2? No, it is 1. Okay, put that down. Oh, nope, it is 2. My bad. I didn't see what they were. Ooh, okay. So a middle grade is the first pick. Very interesting. I'm glad that I can include some diversity as far as labels. Alright, draw number 2. This is romance. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to take some liberties with that one. I'm really going to be taking some liberties with that one. Okay, draw number 3. Wow, we're loving the pink representation. Ooh! N.K. Jemisin. Wow, you really cannot see that at all. But I drew an author's name, N.K. Jemisin, which, is not the worst thing I could draw, honestly, because I didn't manage to read The Obelisk Gate in February when I was supposed to, or was it January? I think it was February. I was planning to read it in February, and I did not. So I will be able to do that now, or maybe one of the other books that she's written. I don't know. The sky's the limit, I guess. Draw number 4. A book with little hype. Draw number 5. Blue. Blue. Yes. Okay. LGBTQIA plus representation. I never hesitate in finding one of those. I will have no trouble whatsoever with that. And the final draw is, sound like I'm on a game show. That's amusing. Ooh! Then we got free pick, which coincidentally works fairly well for me. Okay, I will go and pick the subsequent books for all of these prompts and show them off to you. Finally back, I have grabbed all of the books that I plan to read this month. As always, I will be continuing my reread along of all of the Circle of Magic books that Tamora Pierce has written. I'm moved on to the second quartet of her 3 quartets that she's written so far, and the first book in that series is called Magic Steps by, of course, Tamora Pierce, and this follows Sandry as she stays. She is the only one among the 4 kids that stay in Emelon, in the Temple of Winding Circle, but she soon discovers that there is this boy who I think is supposed to be a street rat or something along those lines, and he does some kind of weird dance magic, which is why the book is called Magic Steps. And so it's up to Sandry to try and teach him how to use his magic properly, because he uses magic different in a way that all of the 4 kids use their magic differently compared to studied mages in this world. So I will be reading that for the month of March as a part of my read-along, which I've trademarked as the Circle of Magic Along. I still would like to find a different name, but for now that will work. Anyways, that'll be the first book that I mentioned that is not actually a part of this TBR, but it is a book that I will most likely be reading. I also want to mention that I am participating in the, what is it called? The Because We Can Readathon Disney Edition, which is taking place April, I think the 12th through the 17th or something. Yeah, April 12th through April 18th. And I will link their channel below. They have a whole entire channel for this, all the readathons that they host, and it's a collab effort. I don't know all of their names. I haven't really prepared myself that far, but I have the list of the prompts in front of me, and I will try to apply them to the rest of my books as I go. That is the only readathon I plan on taking part in this month. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a month-long readathon that I wanted to participate in. There just aren't many that are happening in the month of April, unfortunately. So I'm just doing this one instead, and it'll be a week-long thing, and it'll be fun. Free pick. I am actually going to be reading the bonus challenge book for this readathon, which is Reflection by, golly gee, I cannot remember her name again. Well, it's called Reflection. I think the author's last name is Lin, or something like that. I don't know. But it's a part of the Twisted Tales series, which is all a retelling of every single like Disney princess story, but something is a little bit different. And the catchline for this book is, what if Mulan had to journey to the underworld? And that just kind of took me aback, seeing that tagline on the cover. I was like, huh, that's interesting. I know for a fact that Reflection is on Scribd, so I will be reading it via ebook / possibly audiobook. That's how I'll be reading it. So that is what I chose for my free pick draw. The next pick is Little Hype, and I'm not doing this in any kind of order, but anyways, Little Hype. I chose my family friends book club. We are reading Against the Gods, The Remarkable Story of Risk by Peter Bernstein, which is a nonfiction talking about probability and stuff like that. It should be interesting, hopefully. I hope I enjoy it, as nonfiction is usually not my thing. Especially for romance, I've chosen Majesty by Katharine McGee, which is the second book in, I don't know if it's a duology or if it is a series, but the American Royals series by Katharine McGee. And the first book follows the American royal family because all the way back in the Revolutionary War, instead of becoming president, George Washington actually crowned himself king, and these are his descendants in present day. The first princess, what's her name? I don't know. Beatrice. The first princess, Beatrice, is first in line to become queen once her father, I don't know, abdicates or retires, something like that. So she has a lot of pressure on her, and she kind of realizes that she's developing deeper feelings for her personal bodyguard, whose name I do not know because I've forgotten it. And it also follows Samantha, who is her younger sister and the second princess, not in line for the throne, and is kind of considered the black sheep of the family because she doesn't seem to have the same ambitions as will be expected of her. And also her best friend Nina, who is a commoner, but they went to college together, and it follows her as she tries to navigate a budding relationship or budding feelings for Jefferson, who is Samantha's twin brother, and the kind of scandals that form around that as well. So it follows those 3 girls as they just live on their everyday life. I really, really enjoyed the first book. It was very addicting and very fast-paced. So I hope that I enjoy this book as much as I did the first one. So for LGBTQI+, I have Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller, which is my library book that I have checked out currently, so I really want to read that and return it to the library. I'm not entirely certain what representation is in there. I've heard there's an asexual character, and I think that the main character might be bi, maybe, or something. I'm hoping there's more than just one random side character as asexual, because that would be a little disappointing. But this is my LGBTQIA pick. Alright, so next up we have middle grade, which I picked Pet by Akweke Emezi. Oh my gosh, I am butchering everyone's name ever. This follows, what is her name? Jam? Yeah, follows Jam as she lives in a world in which it is believed that there are no monsters. All the monsters have died out, they're gone, they're not a problem anymore. And one day, this dog or creature called Pet comes to her and says, there's a monster in your neighbor/best friend's house and we need to go and stop it, or something along those lines. This is also LGBTQIA+, as Jam is an out trans teen, or young middle grade. She's a trans girl. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one as well, and it is a super short one, so I do think I'll be able to make my way through it very quickly. Now for my N.K. Jemisin requirement, we have The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. And this one I will be reading it this time because I don't want to have to take a punishment, and I'm really interested to see where the series goes from where I left it in the first book. And the first book of this trilogy, I think it's a trilogy, maybe a series, follows this fantastical world as it kind of comes to an end. And all the main characters are dealing with this apocalypse that's impending doom, basically. Don't want to say anything that's too spoilery because it's really best to go in not knowing that much. Basically, all you have to know is, it's the end of the world. Here's how we try to deal with it. The likelihood of me actually being able to read all these books within a span of the week is laughable, but I will do my best. So we've got, of course, the bonus challenge of the book group pick, which is Reflection by author's name I still don't remember, which I've already explained. That is a bonus challenge, though. You don't have to include that in your TBRs if you are interested in participating in the readathon. It's just an extra in case you're looking for inspiration kind of thing. Okay. Alright, so the first official challenge is read a retelling of a Disney Animated Studios film. And for that one, I also am including Reflection in that because I don't know. I'm trying to shorten everything as much as possible. So I will be reading that book and watching Mulan sometime during that week. Challenge number 2, a book that features royalty, which I do that in Majesty. So that will be the book I read for that one. And a book that focuses on family. I have More to the Story by Hannah Khan, which is actually a reimagining / retelling of Little Women, which is one of my favorite classics of all time, following this family as they kind of brought down on hard times. I don't know too much about it, but it's a modern day reimagining / retelling. Obviously very heavily focused on the family, especially these 4 sisters, as they kind of make their way through whatever problems it is they're dealing with. Alright, so challenge number 4 is a book that is based on mythology. So we've got The Shadow of the Fox by Julia Kagawa, which is based off of a lot of Japanese mythology, I'm pretty sure. And the plot of the story is basically dragons were once a really big thing, but they kind of went extinct a little bit, like a long time ago, but before they went gone completely, it left pieces of the scroll for people to find to get a wish from the last dragon, or something along those lines, and so it's kind of a race to find all these pieces of the scrolls. And the main character, Kage, or not Kage, Yumiko is half kitsune and half human, which a kitsune is a mythological creature that is kind of the Japanese version of a shapeshifter, but its original form is like a fox with 9 tails, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, I've been looking forward to reading this for a long time, and I'm glad that I now finally am going to give myself a push to actually read it this time. And hopefully I will be able to do so. But I have a lot of books to read, so we'll see. Alright, and so we've got a book that features a book that features a pet or an animal companion. And again, I'm choosing pet for this because, you know, pet is a creature / animal companion throughout the story. Need I say more? And the last challenge is, oh, now I see the name. Elizabeth Lim. Elizabeth Lim is the author of Reflection. That is the group pick book. Just thought I'd add that in there now that I finally see her name on this list of prompts here. Gosh. Okay. The last prompt is a book that features a strong villain. And for this one, I've chosen The Magicians by Lev Grossman. The Magicians, the main villain is, well, I forget who it is. There's a very prominent villain in this book series. I don't know entirely if it is the same in the series, the books, as it is in the TV show, but in the TV show, it is a very, very strong and prominent villain. It follows Quentin Coldwater so it does take place during college years. Never mind then. It's just his high school life sucked and that left him in kind of a rut. So he gets admitted to a college of magic unexpectedly and kind of kicks off the plot from there. I'm really interested in reading this. I've heard not the greatest things about this series. People usually tend to prefer the show over the books. I've kind of fallen out of touch with the show as I'm really bad at finishing them and continuing them when I don't know what's going to happen. But I did enjoy what I did see of the TV show. I think I watched the first 2 seasons completely. I kind of fell out of touch from it from there, but I'm really interested in reading this book. And that brings my adult books to 3. I'm going to be reading 3 adult books in 1 month. This is crazy. My goodness. Anyways, that is all for my video today. Again, I will have links to everything down in the description below, to all of the channels of all the people who are hosting the readathon and everything. And again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video soon. Bye.